Good morning. Welcome back to Hiking with Kathleen. In this week's video, you're going to see some pretty interesting footage. Not only did I capture an Eastern Screech Owl, but I caught American crows that are fishing. Go figure. They found a spot on the ice, and that's where they knew the fish were going to come up, and they went fishing. Anyway, stay tuned. Hope you join me today. Sometimes when I'm looking up in the trees, it could be for a bird, but sometimes I find raccoons that are sleeping in the cavity of a tree. And then sometimes during the day, I find them out walking around looking for food, or I think in this case, begging for food. This one seems to have become accustomed to people and is looking for a handout. The day that I saw this, it was particularly cold, about minus 18 degrees Celsius. Eastern Screech Owls are rather small owls. They look a little bit like great horned owls because they have the ear tufts, but they're much smaller. These largely nocturnal owls feast on insects and rodents and often can be found in the entranceway of the cavity that they are occupying in the trunk of a tree. Their coloration is cryptic, very well camouflaged, and looks a lot like the bark of the tree they select. One way they try to enhance that appearance is they spread their feathers over the entrance to the cavity so that the cavity itself can often be overlooked by possible predators. Well, it's a cold morning today. I've been out here for a couple of hours. It's about 10:30 in the morning now, and the temperatures have dropped from somewhere around freezing level down to -2, feeling like -9 degrees Celsius when we include the wind chill. So we've had a little layer of snow. That's how the precipitation came down. It was previously rain, but now we have some snow. And the only thing about the snow, not that there's a lot of it to worry about, but it's providing some clues as to how to be able to track the animals that are walking in the forest before me. So that part I really do like. So anyway, I welcome you to join me on today's journey. So what I've been able to determine is I was following some coyote tracks, and coyote tracks are different from dog tracks in terms of they have a narrower chest. So when their feet land, they tend to land one in front of the other, a little closer than say dog tracks where theirs will land side by side because dogs typically have a wider chest. Coyotes have a narrow chest because they are busy tracking game, walking along game trails. So anyway, that's one of the ways to recognize if their tracks look like they almost line up, so they almost walk in a straight line, those are coyote tracks. And if they're smaller and you don't even see the claws in the imprint, they could be fox tracks. Fox tracks look very much like cat tracks. So anyway, I'm looking out over a body of water, and this body of water is largely frozen over, not to the point where it would support our weight. So I would never test it at this early stage because we just have had a really delayed onset to the winter. We're in mid-January right now. And this is a windswept open area, so this water has frozen. When I took you by a pond earlier today, it was a marshland, more protected, and it was largely open. That will probably just take a little bit longer to freeze over because it's protected. So once this actually freezes over well enough, it is a great viewing location. You come out to a hill like here, and you can see things like coyotes walking across the body of water. So as long as you're dressed for this kind of weather, it's a fabulous time of year to be out. Animals are still busy. They're still doing what they need to do. Saw a raccoon earlier today around that more protected body of water. I wasn't able to get good footage of it, but it was wandering around in the water, obviously hungry, right? Because it was hunting in the middle of the morning. So, but animals are busy doing their thing right now. And the advantage we have by being out in nature in the winter is there's no leaves impeding our view. There might be branches impeding our view, but at least the leaves are out of the way, and it gives us a much clearer view of the animal activity that goes on around us. So just checked the temperature, and it hasn't warmed up very much from when I first got out here. It was feeling like -18. Now it's feeling like -15, including the wind chill. So I want to show you what I do, because the camera that I'm using right now has a battery that actually stops working when it's 0 degrees Celsius. So what do you do when you want to take beautiful scenery? This is a secret that I use, and I figured it out just this year, and I want to share it with you. I carry it in a camera bag, and in the camera bag is a heated sock. There's a little battery pack. The battery pack is rechargeable, so I just make sure that I charge it up after every single use. And I use the lowest setting. It's got 3 heat settings. It's meant for your feet, but so far I haven't needed them for my feet. I mean, I have base layers on underneath, but that's something that you can use in order to keep your battery life a little bit, stronger, a little bit longer. This Canon camera, I never had problems shooting it in the cold. So the battery that it comes with obviously is well equipped to handle sub-zero weather. So anyway, so there's your tip. If there's any piece of camera gear or clothing that you're interested in, just check the links that I include at the website, hikingwithkathleen.com. And I've included all of the links, so you don't have to search from video to video to see what it is that I might be using that you would be interested in using as well. So just click on the link. It helps to support the channel if you happen to buy it through the link. It doesn't cost you any extra. So it's just to make you aware that that's something that can help out the channel if it's a piece of gear that you're interested in. Well, I want to thank you for joining me today and finish off with a couple of notes. Today I just ended up running into a familiar face, Brian, spelled with a Y. And, I really enjoy running into like-minded individuals. We'd gone on a hike or two in the past where we just run into each other. Also recently, I ran into 3 sisters. They use trekking poles, and these folks all live in southwestern Ontario, so every now and again I run into some of the same people, including these 3 sisters. It's always a delight to run into viewers of the channel. I'd also like to do a shout out to Nina from Sweden. Nina has shared some really great resources with me. The video she was particularly interested in was one where I had shared my favorite books from 2022. So anyway, thank you for sharing your resources with me, Nina. So at this point, I'd like to say thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please click like. That way the YouTube algorithm knows to share it with other like-minded people, and consider subscribing if you haven't done so yet. In the meantime, keep an eye out for me. I'll see you on the trail next week. Bye for now.